Welcome back, and today is Thursday on the 11th of August, and tonight I'll be flying out. So this will be the final session I'm doing right here in Singapore, and of which, we are already planning the next video live stream will be taking place in the US. So welcome back. Very, very happy to see who's watching us right here live today. And let me kind of go to the live chat. Good afternoon. All right, let's see who's in the house today. And I can see Jeffrey. Wow, very, very happy to see you, Jeffrey. Thank you for joining us today. And I can also see Jeanette. Oh, Jeanette got a really nice name, Jeanette Hannah Han, double H double N, triple N. And good to see you, Marcus. Bakwat, nice to meet you. Kingi, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Now, today I'm going to do a very, very, very sharp selection due to the recent CHIP Act as endorsed by President Joe Biden. And we need to narrow down a potential candidate who can we most likely take advantage of this CHIP Act. What exactly is the stock price right now trading at, and how should we fire off our trades? All right, so I hope this session will be very, very beneficial to all of you who are watching in live right now. So let me just pay some more regards to those who just joined us. Kelvin from Beihai. 欢迎加入. Henry, good to see you. Yes, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. All right, without further ado, I'm going to switch over right now to the important piece that I want to share with you today. And this is found right here today. Today is Thursday, published yesterday after the market closed at 8:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here we go. Top investor Paul Meeks says chipmakers are gold and reveals his must-own stock. Of course, every investor or insider will have their kind of a portfolio of stocks covering the semiconductor sector. Now, some of them, the hardcore patriots, I call it, they will bet on Intel, they will bet on Micron. Some of the more forward-looking tech fund managers will look at AMD and, of course, NVIDIA. And what about this game? This game this particular stock kind of a sit in between the hybrids of all things best out there, right? So here we go. And we're going to pick out the salient important paragraph that he brought up and check this out. First of all, he want to impress us with a very, very, very important line that I call it, there is still one stock that investors must own, all right? And of course, I kind of unveiled it already. So why is he a fan of cheap stocks? So let's hear the argument. And whenever I present the argument, what we need to resonate for us as a third-party investor, not doing like analyst work, we are reading what the analysts are telling us or the fund managers are telling us. So we are attempting the work of connecting the dots, right? So here we go. If you think about semiconductors, they are like 21st century gold. They are in every product, so I can see why people are entranced with them, and there's a good reason to be, right? So he's a portfolio manager of his own hedge fund, but he said that he would focus on some of the leading companies which are frankly not always US companies. That is well said. The moment we equate semiconductor chips, there's no direct correlation with what we call US branded front, right? Even for example, let me give you a very traditional example. If we talk about Nike, we know it's a US brand, right? But the manufacturing is taking place where? Probably in Vietnam, probably in China, outside United States. This is what I'm talking about. But the moment Joe Biden signs off the CHIP Act, what he wants to do is, yes, the chips are kind of branded by American-based companies, but he pushed one more step further. He says that the manufacturing must take place within the soils of United States of America. Now, that is a really, really tall act to put together. I mean, I just gave you Nike. Can you imagine Nike going to shift all the manufacturing out of China, out of Vietnam, out of any of the third world leading countries out there and base the entire manufacturing within United States of America. Do you think that is possible? I'm just talking about really simple apparel that I'm wearing right now. All right, this is probably made out of Vietnam, China, Indonesia, Bandung, whatever. All right. So this is exactly the point I'm trying to convey to all of us who are watching right now. Is it really possible for such a high-end digital gold known as a semiconductor chip to move the entire manufacturing to relocate it on the soils of America? This is the big question mark I have. Because number one, in US, you're going to have a labor unions. That is headache. Headache number one. Number two, the workforce is very, very peculiar about work-life balance. They're not really like, going to work in the factory for you all the way bash through, like how the Chinese or the Vietnamese that they're doing right now, right? And number three, I'm talking about skill sets and competence. The skill sets and competence required to produce a semiconductor chip is like 10 or 100 times higher than producing this red t-shirt I'm wearing right now today, all right? So I've articulated in my own words, and this particular portfolio manager, nailed it down with one single statement. Frankly, not always US companies. But of course, he didn't give the articulation of why not US companies. I've given you that. Think about Nike. Possible to make a t-shirt out of US, think about it. And semiconductor chips, 100 times more difficult than that. So his topic is none other than TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. And good for him to state the fact that this is the world's biggest chip maker. In fact, this is a very, very unique company that's able to sit, maybe the lack of good choice of words, sleep with two parties, the Americans and the Chinese, all right? It's kind of a right in a niche that can embrace everybody together. So TSMC is the dominant company in which what it does, I don't know if there's any company in technology, even including the FANGs in the United States, or I call it the mamas in the United States, that has a stronger position in such an important market. When you invest as a global investor, you must own TSMC at some point. We're going to take a look at a stock chart later on, all right? So blah, 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 describe all the numbers. I'm more interested about the business. So here we go. Why TSMC is so important. As a foundry for the semiconductor sector, TSMC manufactures chips designed by other companies. So they are the real worker. The design, other companies can come out with design, but the real production takes place at TSMC factories, all right? Its clients include a whole host of big tech companies such as NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and so on. It is also Apple's most important chip supplier. And we know that Apple will be in for the long haul. Next 100, 200 years, Apple will still be around. This is so important, a company, a brand, and that their sidekick is actually TSMC, right? So in a sign of the company's critical role in making the world's most advanced chips, US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi met with TSMC Chairman Mark Liu on a recent visit to Taiwan. And I spoke about this in our previous video about Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. And all of us got kind of a smoke screen by her real intent. I don't think the intent is about Tsai Ing-wen. I don't think the intent is about democracy, freedom for Taiwanese. No. The real intent is to meet up with TSMC because she brought her son along. Y'all can start researching about Pelosi Jr. and all that. Go and start connecting the dots on that part, and you begin to understand, that's how, they maintain the dynasty, and that's how business interest is being taken care of. So her real intent is TSMC, because this is the only way for the US or the Americans to have a competitive edge against the Chinese in China. Now, she, of course, downplay her visit to TSMC, but I believe that is a real intent. So from there, check this out, all right? This is, I think, the crux of the matter right now. On Tuesday, President Joe Biden passed into law a bipartisan bill to boost U.S. competitiveness with China by investing billions of dollars in domestic semiconductor manufacturing and science research. Currently, what I heard from the interview with Micron boss is 1 out of 50 in the US in terms of producing semiconductor chips. With this particular bill, they want to move the ratio 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 companies in the world will be based in US doing the manufacturing. Now that is a tall order, right? So the so-called CHIPS and Science Act includes more than $52 billion in subsidies for US companies producing computer chips, as well as billions more in tax credits to spur investment in chip manufacturing to relocate and domicile in US. But while Meeks acknowledged that the new piece of legislation will benefit US chip companies in the long run, he is not convinced that the sector will get a significant leg up in the short term. It is exactly the tune that we are singing right here today, all right? So read this one. This is the climax. Here we go. I think it's a bit naive, and not just for him, many of them are thinking the same, to think that their fundamentals will change because of the CHIPS Act and the building of semiconductor foundries in the US. Because what happens is, even if they start digging the dirt today, first they do the piling work to build the factories, all right? You won't see a chip of this manufacturing line for several years. And that several years will probably pass through two presidential elections. The upcoming one, 2004, 2024, and the next one, 2028. 2024, we know is a big question mark right now. They're trying to get rid of Donald Trump, prevent him from running. And who's the one coming up from the Democratic Party? Are you sure that it's going to be Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton? Not too sure. No one in sight yet. By the time we come to 2028, oh my gosh, who will be the next president to see through this digging of dirt all the way through the relocation of the plant? I think it's mission impossible. I think this is more like a midterm election carrot. There's quite a bit of time between now and then before the US becomes not even a major player in the worldwide chip production. All right, so that is the whole write-up, and I added on some of my points I'm thinking about. But the real crux of the matter is right now we really have to take a serious deep look on the stock chart. And here we go. This is TSMC for you. And again, we go back to the fundamentals. Bottom left, 2020. Bottom right, we free up some space. And what we observe is that during the pandemic, come on, this guy was a little bit affected. It's just like a little bit affected, not big affected. And we can plot from this drop into this box, all right? It took it about February, March, April, May, June. 5 months to recover and break out of my red box. That's how fast it is, all right? But because everyone started to produce more chips, right now there's what we call excess in inventory. And this is the problem Wall Street is dealing with right now. Oh, there's too many chips right now, all stuck in the warehouse or whatever house they call it. They couldn't move the chips. Then we go and identify the sweet spot price. This is the sweet spot price, $80 to $90 range, all right? Now, why is that so? Simply because I will just point here, and then from there, I point there. It's exactly the same mirror image. And we spoke about this many times. It will pass through 3 layers. The first layer, I believe it will pass through is right over here, where the 200-day simple moving average line will continue its path down, and the candle will attempt to break the 200-day simple moving average line around here. And there you go. We have the first layer to break through the $100 round number. And then the next layer to break through is right over here, 140, the previous historical high. And then we got one more level to break through from there. And and it reached there. Okay? So the big question is, are we getting a fair price today at what we call a really, really beautiful, prosperous, my favorite number of all time? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, and I got to present to you really big, all right? I call it the 88.88 what number. You are given this golden opportunity tonight to own it at a 88.88 what number. And if I want to own this piece, I want to own it at this price. Whether it's and I will set a buy limit 88.88 or above. Sorry, you cannot set a buy limit. You should start what we call a trail limit buy order. All right, because if you place a buy limit order at 88.88, you will get below this price because it's trading at 88.7 right now. So what I want is to see my trade fill up exactly 88.88. So the traditional way of doing this trick is what? When the price is above 88.88, you place a buy limit order 88.88. So once it goes like 88.9 and it dropped 2 cents, boom, you got filled, right? But what happens if the price continue to run up? That's it. You will miss this beautiful golden number forever because I think we hit a rock bottom for TSMC already. So there are many variations for us to execute this trade, and some of the tricks included RTH. If you do not know what is RTH, you got to come and learn from me, all right? That's called the retail trading hour. We can place an order before the market bell opens and even after the market bell closes. That's one trick. Another trick is I'm going to deploy a trail limit order to kind of fire off at 88.88. And of course, there are many tools of the trade. My game plan is let's have a challenge, all of us who are watching right here today. I want to see how many of you can get yours filled at this really golden number, 88.88. Okay, so that's my thoughts. And of course, I mean, if you are interested to know whether I'm going to be firing off options or stocks and in what combination, then that is the point in time, I got to bring out this very beautiful QR code right over here. And you can scan on this green color QR code right here. And that's this is the latest. I'm very, very excited. This is my actual live classroom. I call it Don't Stop Believing Trade Notification, all right? It's just like Warren Buffett, Katie Wood doing their quarterly filings or their Form 4 filings. This is my filing, all right? And of course, my filing, I connected many, many other dots from the data to the strategy to the method to the execution. Quite a lot of things to think through. But I want to make sure that each time I meet you guys up for the YouTube live stream, you are learning something from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this session today. I'm right now going to go and pack my luggage bag. I have not done so yet. And I hope to see you guys I think my angels plan out for me. And let me just check. My next YouTube live stream, I'll be doing live at the airport, all right? And let me give you my flight schedule. I'll be doing live at the airport, and holy moly, that will be at what time am I supposed to do? 11. Did I see my schedule here? I'm not seeing my. At 8:30 a.m. New York time, I'll land at New York first, which will translate to your Friday, Singapore, 8:30 p.m. That will be my next live stream coming up. And if you like to be notified, just make sure you follow us on YouTube and click on the notification bell, right? So the next live stream will be interesting. I'll be doing streaming live at the airport while I'm waiting for my transit flight over to Boston. Okay, so really, really happy to see all of you. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope today's idea will be really, really fantastic. May you enjoy the what number, and may God bless you. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.